I didn't know what I was doing.
This is actual home video of a dangerous game played by teens. Kids call it the fainting game, blackout, space monkey, the choking game. Kids choke themselves or each other until one passes out. They get a rush, a high when they regain consciousness. The game has many victims.
This is not a game. This is a very deadly thing.
Cops say the ghastly game has players here in Wisconsin.
The kids that are doing this do not realize how deadly this game is.
In a moment, you'll meet a family who realizes all too well how deadly this game is.
Just not having him hear the laughter, his little voice, and seeing his face.
And why it was so tough to figure out how Kyle died.
It's a miracle that we haven't had more.
Kyle's death was a mystery that was very tough to solve. Kyle McCarthy, 13 years old, in 7th grade near Appleton. Kyle was small for his age, but he had a big heart.
He was just a real loving, caring boy.
He liked to hunt, liked to fish, loved hanging out with his family.
Always had a big smile on his face.
Always smiling, always laughing.
Always laughing, smiling.
Last month, Kyle and his dad had just come home from a hunting trip. 15 minutes later, a gut feeling told Dad that something wasn't right.
So I went downstairs to check on him, and that's when I found him.
Kyle was hanging from a ceiling beam, unconscious. Dad began CPR.
The whole time just thinking to myself, oh my, how could this be? How can this be, you know, why?
Kyle was rushed to the hospital. He was still alive, but fading fast. Kyle was airlifted here to Children's Hospital, where doctors worked tirelessly to try to save his young life. But he had been without oxygen for 15 minutes. His brain failed, his heart stopped working, and eventually Kyle died here.
And she said just a matter of time before his little heart stops beating. And
that's hard to hear.
That's
and then we just all gathered around him and said our prayers. We just had to wait.
As Kyle was laid to rest, the mystery began to unfold.
Then the real work began after that to find out what had happened, you know, how he did this, why he did this, what was going on.
There were extensive interviews by police with Kyle's classmates. Initially, the kids denied knowing anything about the choking game. Teens today are growing up faster than ever before, experimenting with things that their parents are completely unaware of, occasionally dying as a result, and they're often ruled suicides, when in actuality, kids are killing themselves accidentally. No one who knew Kyle believed he meant to kill himself. Finally, Kyle's classmates cracked. They fessed up. Kyle had been playing the choking game. His friends knew because they had played it with him. Some of those kids approached Kyle's brother, Don.
They were just so sad when they came out to me, and they felt so guilty because they never thought something like this could happen from that. And they just looked me in the eye and said they wouldn't do it anymore. They would never do it again.
It's from one friend to another friend, and you know, you have the overlap from middle school to high school. You know, it'll come from the high school down to middle school, and you know, it works its way into elementary schools as well.
There is a lot of it going on in the high schools and in the middle schools.
And grade schools.
Grade schools.
Still think it's not real? Here's another look at this home video. Actual kids playing the choking game. The boy in the chair gets choked until he passes out. His body thinks it's dying. Deprived of oxygen, it shuts down. He rebounds when the choking stops. It doesn't always work out that way.
I'm very surprised we haven't had more, because they just don't understand the consequences of this.
There have also been choking game deaths in almost every other state, Canada, Europe, and Asia. Some experts believe there are more than 500 choking game deaths each year, and the number could actually be much higher.
It's like taking that next risky behavior to see if we can get away or cheat death.
Ellen Diedrich is a child psychologist.
These are children who have limited life experiences. So their life is all about being alive. They don't think that they're going to die.
Thanksgiving in the McCarthy home was tough. Christmas will be brutal. There's a space at the table for Kyle. and a hole in the hearts of those that love him.
And just hanging out with each other and just doing stuff. I mean, that's what I'm going to miss the most about him.
He just didn't know what he was doing.
No.
The holidays would be very sad.
The parents out there that are like us, that think that this couldn't happen to them, we were them. It happened to us.